Hello, welcome. I am Cassandra Cassidy, founder and CEO of Nurses Mentoring Nurses. Here with me today is Ray Coe, who holds a PhD in nursing, a master's in business administration, a master's in healthcare administration, is a registered nurse, and also is board certified in executive advanced. He has a vast history in nursing and nursing leadership, having served in elected positions at the state and national level nursing associations. We are approaching the American Nursing Association's presidential election to occur at our upcoming membership assembly in June of 2026. The elected ANA president will serve a 2-year term starting in January of 2027. Dr. Coe, as one of the ANA presidential candidates, I want to welcome you and thank you for giving us this interview.
Not a problem. I appreciate you having me.
Can you describe your experience representing nurses at the state and national levels?
Sure. Let's start with the state level. I just recently finished a term as president of the Tennessee Nurse Association, and I also worked with the Tennessee Student Nurse Association as their graduate consultant and then TNA consultant to the Tennessee Student Nurse Association. And then for ANA, I've served on their Committee on Bylaws, the ANA PAC, where I've served as the treasurer, the vice chair, and chair. I've served on the advisory board for the Center for Ethics and Human Rights, and then I've also served as the director at large for the ANA Board of Directors.
All right, thank you for sharing your experiences at both the state and national levels. Building on your leadership foundation, what motivates you to run for president of ANA?
One of the things is I think right now healthcare, it's at a crossroads. And I think nursing needs to be at the forefront. We need to be reading the map, providing direction and guidance, and telling people where to go and how healthcare should be modified and changed. I believe return on investment is a goal. Healthcare needs to function. They've got to make a profit, but I don't think it should be a primary goal. Our decisions in healthcare need to be focused on quality of care, safe, effective, patient-centered, timely, efficient, equitable care that is data-driven, that focuses on the patient and the organization. And that means safe staffing for the nurses, but it also means a return on investment because the organization needs to make money to survive. But I think if you focus on the quality of care, focus on the patients, focus on staffing, taking care of your nurses and the rest of your staff, return on investment will come. It shouldn't be your primary, we've got to make money every day. That is driving us into making some really dangerous staffing decisions. And I think we need to focus on the long-term health of healthcare.
All right, I appreciate your perspective and passion for serving in this role. With that in mind, I'd like to shift towards a broader landscape of nursing. What do you see as the most critical issue facing nurses today, and how would you lead the ANA in addressing it?
I think one of our most critical issues right now is the lack of respect that is offered nurses. Not just the issue regarding the professionalism of the nursing profession, but just the lack of respect totally. They're not willing to listen to the voice of nurses when we tell them what's going on at the bedside, when we tell them what's going on in the classroom, when we talk about what we need to get the job done. We have found ways to get the job done for so long that they have put us in the background and they don't listen to us anymore. They just think, oh, well, nurses are going to take care of everything. And they don't care about us. They just see us as, you know, furniture, so to speak. And we're not. We're the backbone of the healthcare system, especially the inpatient healthcare system. And you've got to listen to us when we tell you that we're near breaking. You've got to listen to us when we tell you this is what we need to educate the next generation. You've got to listen to us when we tell you this is what we need to take care of our patients. We need to, we need the time at the bedside to talk to the patients, to make sure that what we're doing is the right thing at the right time for the right patient. I mean, we've practiced the 5 rights since I've been in nursing back in the 80s. And right now we're so rushed trying to get things done that we're not having time to think about what we're doing and make sure we're doing the right thing at the right time for the right patient. We're losing focus on trying to meet some metrics and some goals that are tied to profitability and not tied to safety and not tied to quality outcomes. We need to get back to the care and compassion that nursing and healthcare were, founded on. We were noted for our care and compassion long before we were anything else. I mean, we were a caring, compassionate system that took care of people. And we need to get back to that. We need to focus on how do we take care of people? How do we make them better? Or if we can't make them better, how do we make them comfortable?
I agree. Thank you for your insights and challenges facing our profession and your approach to help address them. Looking ahead, what is your vision for the ANA over the next 2 to 3 years, and how will you advance the nursing profession as president?
I think one of the things we're going to have to do is step up our advocacy game. We're going to have to be more vocal about this is what nurses need to do their job. So we're going to have to be more vocal with legislators at the federal level. We're going to have to be more vocal with healthcare systems in their boardroom. And we're going to have to listen more in classrooms and at the bedside to our educators, our students, and our bedside nurses about what do you need? And we've got to take those remarks back to the legislator, to the boardrooms, and say, these are the outcomes you're looking for. This is what they're going to need to be able to do it. You can't have high quality care. You can't take care of the patients who vote you into office on a shoestring. You've got to be able to provide the resources so that the job can be done well. We've struggled recently, and it's because we're cutting corners, and we've got to stop that. We've got to focus on what do we need to do the job well. Now, I'm sure there's mistakes being made and there's stuff that needs to be addressed, but a nurse shouldn't go to work being afraid that somebody's going to, shoot them in a parking lot or, slam them into a wall. I mean, that they should never fear for their safety at work. They should have the time to make sure that what they're doing is the right thing for the patient. Students should have time to think about and reflect on what they're learning so that they know how to properly apply it in clinicals. And a boardroom needs to think it is not just going into it's not going in and handing a med to a patient. It's making sure that the patient knows what they're taking, understands why they're taking it, why it's important. It's spending time with them. And it's not just in and out, but sometimes it's, getting the patient up, walking them around, assessing them, making sure that they're recovering. We've got so many metrics that we're measured by that we forgot the most important measure is, are the patients getting better? So we've got to amplify that voice and say, we need time to do our job and to do it well. We need the resources to do our job and do it well. And that means we need the resources for patient care. We need the resources for student education. And we also need the resources for our advanced practice nurses to do their job well. Our APRNs, the nurse practitioners, the certified registered nurse anesthetists, the nurse midwives, our clinical nurse specialists. These are going to be the primary care providers of the future, and we need to be preparing them to step into that role and taking care of patients at that level.
I agree. I want to thank you for taking your time to share your insights and leadership experiences and visions with us today. We appreciate your commitment to advancing the nursing profession and supporting nurses across all levels of practice. Further, we're grateful for your willingness to serve in the thoughtful capacity and in leadership capacity in ANA. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.